Hello, everybody, and welcome to Visualize section, in which we are going to talk about the R&D organization, that's the research and development of Gigamon. Hopefully, you're going to enjoy and get some more information about what we do here in Gigamon. And before we go into the details, I would like to introduce myself and the members of the R&D organization. My name is Ljubomir Mandic. I'm a Chief Development Officer here at Gigamon. Been here for 4 years, and I'm really happy to be here with you and talk about R&D. So, Hang, you want to go next, please?
Thank you. My name is Hang Nguyen. I'm a distinguished engineer, software engineer. I have been working with Gigamon for 14 years.
Hey everyone, my name is Sandeep Daya. Just like Hang, I've been here for 13 years. I've been working since day one on GigaSmart applications, everything from Nedupe to NetFlow to flow slicing, everything. I've been worked on all of them. Nice to talk to you.
Thanks, Sandeep. Hi, everyone. This is Banu Parlapalli, Senior Director of Software Engineering at Gigamon for Cloud and Fabric Manager. I've been at Gigamon 9 years. I've been working on a lot of technologies, on Gigamon.
Yeah, thank you, guys. So now that we're done with introductions, I would like to start talking about the part of the organization that is not so much talked about in general. Typically, we talk about products, and I'm sure you know about a lot about the Gigamon products. But I want to talk about the research that we do. So Banu, we have done a lot of innovation recently with the cloud. Can you talk a little bit more about the recent innovations in the cloud area, please?
Yeah, absolutely, Lubo. Innovation is a key part of a lot of products that we build. That's what I believe differentiates our products from the rest. One of the things that we've been really working on the cloud side is how do we provide visibility into encrypted workloads on the cloud, right? That's been a tough problem, and we're always looking for newer enabler technologies that really allow us to solve the problem that was not solved before, right? We have been really following eBPF and looking at how that can enable us to solve this problem of providing visibility into encryption. And we have come up with some prescription that is really going to solve this problem in a new way. We're happy to release this very shortly. You'll hear a lot about it very soon.
Yeah, just for some of our colleagues that may not know what the eBPF stands for, it's Extended Berkeley Packet Filtering. So just, obviously look it up. It's an open source that we use in the product. So thank you very much for that. So a lot of people know us as a hardware company. Traditionally, in the last 4 or 5 years, we kind of embarked on the journey to add the cloud portfolio and then have our deep observability pipeline created. So Han, can you talk a little bit more? How did we create that environment in which you can run our applications regardless in which environment you run, not only on the hardware or on-prem?
Yeah, sure. So Gigamon, we have both the hardware product and software product. Software product for us, GigaSmart application. And traditional, we write application, and it's running on hardware, our hardware specific for visibility. But now we actually innovate ourselves. We re-architect our software for GigaSmart application. Well, we build our new hybrid cloud infrastructure software so that we can run the same software, same application on the Gen 3 hardware as well in the cloud. So it can run on x86, ARM, run on the cloud for vSeries. So same software, we test it once, we run it many places.
So does it matter if it's a private or public cloud?
No, we have product. For cloud product, our product run on private cloud, VMware, OpenStack, Nutanix, as well public cloud, like a major cloud provider we have product.
So one interesting question there is that obviously the environment is different. So how do you scale differently in these environments? Because the environment is different. So how do we solve the problem of scale depending on environment? If you can give a little bit more color on that.
I mean, I can say some, and then maybe Banu can chime in terms of kind of management as well.
Sure,
yeah. So for scale, especially to talk about cloud, right? So scale, we do have a customer who has a really high volume traffic, and the instances on the cloud, unlike physical hardware, which have a lot of CPU, very high power, in the cloud they have a smaller instances. So we and with the large scale, the large instance costs a lot of money. So our customer, they want to run with smaller instances, and they like to have save money, and then as they need, they can scale more instances. And so we recently developed new technology so that we can run can scale up and scale down depending on the volume of traffic.
Yeah. So thanks, Ang. Scale for us, of course, it means in a lot of aspects, right? One is ability to process large volumes of data. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is able to deploy very large number of instances across large distributed environments, right? And able to manage them very well, right? Meaning the customers have to be easily able to manage, deploy, look at the operational aspects of it, look at the health once the fabric is deployed. How do we manage it? On a day 10 operations, like how do we upgrade the fabric? All of these have to be done at scale, right? And of course, when there are problems, we need to be able to isolate these problems and make the deployment very resilient, right? That is a key aspect of large scalable deployment as well, right? So all of those are key aspects that we pay very good attention to, and they are pretty much, I would say, needed for many customer deployments to really deploy at very large scale to meet their scaled up environments, right?
Yeah, thank you for that, Hang and Banu. So we started this session with talking a little bit about cloud, but obviously, the fact that we talk about cloud doesn't necessarily mean that we're ignoring what we do on a hardware platform. So Sandeep, maybe you can comment a little bit, how do we keep up with the constant innovation? We are working with a lot of partners and a lot of vendors, a lot of customers. So if you can get a little bit more color of how do we do it both on a hardware pod and then GigaSmart application to keep up with the feeds and speeds and quality and scale and all the good stuff that we do.
Sure. So like Hang and Bhanu said, performance and scaling is like part of the DNA of our development. We are constantly looking at ways of improving performance, scaling, and that shows up. We've been constantly, since the day we started, from the first releases of our applications, going from 10 gig interfaces to 25 gig to 40 gig to 100 gig interfaces. Our current hardware platforms, we support engines, GigaSmart engines up to 200 gigs of processing per engine, and we are constantly looking at new ways. And Hung is my partner in crime on that. If you look at our cubicles, you will find an array of devices which we keep constantly prototyping from the different vendors. And we have lots of fans and blowing everywhere and wiring everywhere. We keep playing with those. So that keeps us on our heels, developing new platforms, hardware platforms, as well as software platforms. Like we did the scaling when we did the cloud. We started out with 2-node and 4-node V-series nodes, and now we can go all the way up to Nitrox nodes running 32 node instances. So in both physical and virtual, we constantly keep innovating to have better and better scale.
So thanks, Sandeep, for explaining what we do. But maybe to connect, I know we recently looked into many more technologies to develop the future GigaSmart card, future hardware chassis. Can you maybe explain what the challenges are with that to kind of give an idea of what we're facing, but also how you do it? What's the methodology you use, and how do you collaborate with the rest of the team and vendors, obviously?
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So one of the things that we constantly are on the lookout for is not just doing an incremental update. So we always want to go from certain number of throughput from 150 gigs of application throughput to 100 gigs. But we are also constantly looking out for new technologies which will allow us to go from 100 gigs to 2 times or 3 times or 4 times of those performance. That definitely means we cannot use the current architectures we have. We explore new architectures, whether it be a new generation of network CPUs or new generations of custom ASICs. We explore those, and we have partners that we work with. We have their gear in our lab all the time. We test those, and we are constantly building new architectures, reference boards to test them out, as well as software architectures. We keep exploring new ways of architecting our software, which will allow us to take advantage of all the benefits that the hardware has to offer.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, one of our challenge is to keep the price performance. Increase the performance per car. So whatever the hardware that we're looking at, it has to be. Especially for the GigaSmart application, we're looking for platform and software re-architecture or new software package that enable us to do like enable multiple core, so we can scale and run high speed.
Yeah, so that brings me to the next question, which is, we talk about ideas that are stemming from our own team, R&D team, but where else we do get ideas from? And because we're obviously trying to solve specific customer problems, right? But where do you normally get ideas for the product development?
Yeah, so our product team gave us a requirement, and the requirement come from a customer request from the SE. So a lot of the feedback come back to PLM, and PLM team will prioritize, arrange, and work with us to deliver the feature that customer want at the right time.
Okay, great.
A lot of times, I think the customers are the one who keeps us on our heels. They constantly keep asking, "What can we do more? What can we do more?" And they keep us on our heels all the time.
Yeah, we hear a lot from the sales teams. Like, hey, they talk to their customers, and their customers ask them questions. Hey, can you solve this for us? Can you do this for us? Right? And then that feedback comes to us. Of course, the initial question is, no, we can't do that. And then we go back and put our brains to it. Yeah, there's a way to solve the problem. And then that's a lot of that initial thinking is what actually spurs. Yeah, maybe there's a different way to solve the problem. And sometimes the thought just sits on the back of the mind, and it stews, and then the solution comes later, right? Usually that's typically how it happens.
And not to mention, right, we have a big innovation engine within the company. We constantly keep motivating all our engineering staff to come up with new ideas. We have yearly fests where we encourage everyone to present their ideas, and we keep on incorporating new ideas into our products.
Yeah, so that innovation fair that you just referred to happens every December. Not that we don't innovate, obviously, throughout the year, but we have hundreds of teams presenting different ideas, and then we incorporate that in the product portfolio if they solve the particular customer case. So great. So we talked about a little bit about innovation, producing products, both hardware, software. One critical aspect, especially where we sit in the largest, more secure networks in the world, is security. So Banu, maybe you want to kind of share a little bit of how do we make sure that our environment in which we develop software is secure, our partners, supply chain is secure, and obviously what we do and write the code is secure. So maybe some
absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Lobo. So for us at Gigamon, a lot of the environments that we go into are high secure environments, right? So it is paramount for us that the quality of our products as well as the security of our products is very high, right? We take that very seriously, right? In terms of our development practices, which is where it has to start, as well as, of course, the upfront sourcing of both software and hardware components, it is key for us, right? We have very strong standards in terms of what components we use, whether it is on the software. We go through the SBOM, software bill of materials, to make sure, the components that we use in our products meet the standards and exceed the standards, and we have scanners that ensure that all the components that we use meet all the standards that are there. That's one aspect of it. And as well as on the hardware, of course, our hardware is known for being super robust, and we need to ensure all the components are also secure, right? Both on the hardware side, whether it is starting with the bootloader, as well as all the way up to the software stack, right? So this is, I would say, it's a key part of our development. It's sort of been ingrained into our development in many aspects, and we take all of those very seriously.
Yeah, I would just add, obviously, we do a lot of other peripheral stuff that is part of the security process, like static analysis, where we fix the bugs. We have penetration testing, vulnerability scans. So typically what we practice is what is de facto standard is Microsoft practices. We take all of them and then basically try to incorporate it in our process. So thank you for that. You mentioned quality. Yeah, quality is obviously everybody's business. It's not only the quality assurance organization. So maybe either Hang or Sandeep or both, can you talk a little bit about how do we make sure that when we release a product, we all stand behind it, we are sure we did everything we possibly could, that we test in the proper environments, customer environments, we solve customer problem, do all the right things that our customers get a really robust, solid, secure product.
Sure. So quality comes at a price. So we are constantly dedicated to building quality products. we use all every tools that we can leverage. We, like Lugo mentioned, we have static code analysis tools, we have code coverage tools, and we have linter tools, which will allow us to identify any bugs before any code gets in. That's the tool part of it, and we also have constantly keep investing in CI/CD pipelines to make sure that every piece, every single line of code that goes in is tested and verified for each and every platform run. It's just not us. Like we have all flavors of hardware, software platforms, public clouds. Everything gets tested on every platform. So we invest a lot of time on that, and that shows up in our development timelines. We are very serious about that. We make sure that we any release, before any release, we are able to test everything that's coded. Everything gets regression tested. Everything gets soaked. So we run weeks and weeks of uptime before the release goes out.
You want to add anything, or are you happy with Sandeep?
Yeah, I live on top of security as well aspect. I mean, we maintain a database because BOM software, open source. We use a lot of software, open source software, and so we constantly scan the database to make sure like there's any CVs outstanding on the, like new CVs on the software or any defects. So we updating constantly. Like whenever we see CV report, we scan and we patch them.
One thing I would add to what Hung said is we have very tight SLAs in terms of any vulnerabilities that are found in the industry. As we all know, last year we found a lot of vulnerabilities that the whole industry was scrambling to release fixes, right? Our process has been very, very tight. We publish very strict SLAs in terms of how quickly we turn around and address anything that has been found in the open source community. And so customers look for us and to say like, hey, what is the guideline? And we are almost leaning forward and always giving, hey, this is our plan, and we assure the customers that hey, our process is very tight to turn it around very quickly.
Yeah, thank you for that. So that brings me maybe to the next topic. When you think about, okay, we talked about vulnerabilities and fixing that, and we talk about quality and releasing and making sure we take it seriously, but occasionally there are problems in the customer network, they have issues, and I'm sure that they're interested in know, okay, how do we react to this, right? Because it's not only that we create really good, robust products. In a case that there is something that's going on the software or hardware, we should obviously react appropriately. So obviously, all of you are in the midst of it occasionally, but maybe one take is like, how do we go about it?
Yeah. So one thing before I talk about this, how we solve issues, our CSAT score, the customer satisfaction score, is super high, which is indicative of the quality that we have. But of course, like any software, there will be defects that customers find, and in a way, how we react to that, and how we respond to the customers, and how we work with the customers to figure out a problem and fix it, is what we take pride in, right? Internally, we call it as one Gigamon. Whenever there's a problem for the customer, we don't look at, hey, which team is looking at the issue, right? Everybody jumps on it and figures out, how do we solve the problem for the customer, right? We don't lose time on, hey, let's one team look at it and then it comes to the other team, right? It's more often than not, it's all hands on deck and solve the problem for the customer, and then we move on to other things, right? Of course, I mentioned SLAs in the past. For any defect that comes from the field, and we look at turning this around very quickly, right? And what that means is, from the engineering side, we have to be very agile in terms of how quickly we can reproduce the issue, how quickly we assure that it's the same issue that the customer is seeing, and we have an internal environment that we can reproduce it with. Right? And in some cases, we have to work with our partners to actually get the fix, on the code that we use from partners, and then we incorporate it, and then we deliver to our customers, right? So it's, there's a lot that goes on behind once we find the issue, but we always take pride in turning things around quickly and addressing it for the customers, right?
Yeah, you're basically asking questions for me because you mentioned partners, and I just want to ask Sandeep is like, obviously we work with the partners not only on reproducing the problem, we're obviously working with them to develop the code. And Hank was mentioning all these different environments, which obviously means partners, all the components we have and all of that. So how do you navigate as an architect of the GigaSmart how to navigate all these relationships with different partners and how do you work with them. And so just maybe walk the people on the call, with how you do that. So what's your approach?
Right. Yeah. Thanks. So yeah, we have as any large product we have tons of partners that we work. Every single product is a result of integration with a lot of partners. Some of the partners are hardware vendors, some of them are software vendors, components. Yeah, and we do constantly keep in touch. We constantly keep probing our partners, whether it's software partners, what is next, what is it they're delivering. We have regular calls to see what they can do for us. Some of those calls are about customers escalations, like I say, sometimes customers say we do have to work with the partners to solve some of those things, and we take it as a pride. We want to work with the partners to solve the problem for the customers. We are not waiting for the customers to go schedule a call and say you fix the partner problem. We are always in touch with our vendors and partners to solve those problems, saying that the customers get the maximum return for their investment.
One thing I would also add to that is we are always working with the partners, especially as they are releasing newer capabilities to their customers, right? In many instances, especially on the cloud side, we are launch partner for many of the platform features that they are releasing, right? And we work with them. We work with them, of course, ahead of their releases, and then we integrate with our suite of products, and then we do a joint launch, right? You may have seen examples of us being a launch partner for many of the features, and we do that a lot with our partners, right, on the cloud side.
Yeah, great. One thing that some folks may know, some not, that our R&D team actually has a organization here in Santa Clara in California and one in Chennai in Tamil Nadu in India. So that gives us a coverage across the globe. So maybe Hang, what benefit do you see by having obviously the diverse pool of talent, different time zones, and if you want, some challenges as well that comes with it because not everything is benefit, right?
So I think I would say with the talent pool in Chennai, we have access to a lot of engineers with capable. So that is the first thing, and I would say the benefit is with like a diverse background, and not just we work with many different engineers, and also the time, right? We can work during the day. We get ideas, we do the work, and if we need to get back to the customer or we try to solve problem, we can actually do in the evening. So it's actually moving a lot faster.
Yeah. What I would also add to that is our customers are global. We actually need global engineering presence to actually support the customers throughout the globe, right? So that's key for us. That's been very helpful.
We've had cases where customers in Singapore raise a ticket for us, we solve it, and in the evening the Chennai team hands off over to the customer in the next morning.
Yeah. So I tried to in this session. I know it's only a short session, but I wanted to cover hardware, cloud, software development, security, quality, timelines. So it's a lot of stuff in a very short time. Obviously, people on the call have opportunity to reach out to Gigamon separately and reach us on any of these topics. But I do want to talk about one thing that you mentioned, one Gigamon, which is a culture. We didn't talk about that in general. And I do want to say it first because I'm super passionate about it. I've been with the company 4 years, and I can tell you that this culture of one Gigamon, where people are looking to solve the problem as fast as they can, as best they can, is contagious. We hire people for when we do hire, we obviously interview for a cultural fit, and I think that's super important, not only skill set. So again, I thought it was probably very important that you mentioned it. And just want to hear from you guys how you personalize. What does it mean to you, each one of you, so we can maybe close the session with these final thoughts. Like what does one Gigamon mean to you, Banu?
Yeah. So for me, it means that there is no line between what function the employees at Gigamon fulfill, right? Meaning, like, if there is a problem, right? It is not one team's responsibility to solve that problem, right? It is the entire Gigamon's responsibility. Hey, somebody has a problem, whether it's a customer or it could be an internal problem. It is not like, hey, it's that team to solve it, right? It's never that, right? So 1 Gigamon for me, it means like, okay, if somebody has a problem, it's everybody's problem to actually go solve or help them solve it, right? So that's what it means to me.
Thank you. Sandeep, maybe?
Yeah, it's along the same lines as Bhanu said, the, the, the amazing ability of all our engineering team, and not just engineering, PLM as well. We constantly talk to each other, and we constantly keep running into each other's rooms. Hey, I have an idea. Can we talk about it? Or I have a problem. Can you help me solve this? We keep doing that, and it helps us turn around to customers much faster. And I love that part. I don't have to wait around to talk to somebody's manager to go get work done. I can reach them directly.
Yeah, exactly.
Hank?
I mean, same for me. I mean, I would say help without waiting for too much, without jumping hoops, talking to different level of people just to get help. At the same time, I can give the help directly and speed up all the process. And I like that mentality. Like one for all for one, right? So
Well, the length of the service of all you guys speaks for it, right? I mean, you've been here for a long time. Obviously, we are doing as a company something right to keep all of us here. So anyhow, I just want to conclude with that. Thank you so much, Bhanu, Sandeep, and Hank, for your participation. Thank you for listening to us and joining the Visualize. Hopefully, you're enjoying not only this session, but all the other sessions. And as I mentioned, you can certainly reach out to anybody from Gigamon directly. I'm sure you have your own channels and way to reach out, and you can ask any additional questions of me or my engineering team. Have a nice day.